In the region of Kanta-Häme lies the municipality of Loppi, home to over 7,600 residents, with a history dating back to the 17th century. One of the most valuable cultural heritage sites in Loppi is the Old Loppi Church. The Old Loppi Church, named after its patron saint, Saint Birgitta, is a wooden church, possibly built in the 1600s, though the exact construction date remains unknown. Among locals, the church has come to be known as Santa Pirjo. It stands on a high hill, and until 1805, regular church services were held there. Today, only an evening prayer service is conducted once a week. However, the church is also linked to the legend of the Loppi Devil. According to folklore, a devil lived in Kaakkomäki in the Kylmänoja croft of the Salo Manor. It is said that the devil was disturbed when Santa Pirjo was being built. When a new church bell was donated to Santa Pirjo in the 1600s and its chimes began to echo, the devil grew furious and exclaimed, "There will be no more peace now that Santa Pirjo thunders." In a fit of rage, the devil grabbed a large boulder and hurled it toward the church in an attempt to destroy its steeple. However, the rock missed and landed by the shore of Lake Loppi. The villagers of Loppi pushed the boulder into the lake, but soon after, misfortune befell them. Livestock fell ill and died. Realizing the connection, the villagers decided to retrieve the boulder from the lake and place it on a cliff ledge, where it still stands today. It is said that the imprint of the devil's hand can be seen on the stone. Many stories about the Loppi Devil have been passed down through generations, evolving over time. The devil is also said to have caused havoc at the Kylmänoja croft in the 1850s, disturbing the household for about a year. There have been different beliefs about the devil's appearance. The most well-known version describes it as a poltergeist, but some stories suggest it took the form of a giant. In other tales, a giant named Santa Pirje or Pirje is said to reside in Kaakkomäki, named after the church itself. The devil is also mentioned in Finland's national literature, Seven Brothers by Aleksis Kivi. In the book, Juhani silences Eero by commanding, "Shut your mouth, you Loppi devil, you babbling Paara of Kylmänoja." The origins of the devil are unknown, but one story tells of a housewife in Kylmänoja who was baking bread when a stranger arrived. The stranger asked for a stool, which the housewife provided. After sitting for a while, the visitor then asked for bread. Annoyed, the housewife snapped, "I'm not handing out bread forever." To this, the visitor replied, "Then you shall receive something else instead," and left. After this, the devil settled in the house. The devil caused chaos in the cottage, throwing stones and objects. It was also called a Paara or Para, kind of supernatural helper. It was believed that a Paara could curse a person who mistreated it. When angered, it could fill a house with dung and was also thought to spoil food by throwing feces or dirt into it. Over 60 stories have been collected about the Loppi Devil, but none contain eyewitness descriptions of its appearance. However, many claim to have heard its voice. Sometimes the devil spoke from behind the stove, sometimes from the floor level, always playing mischievous tricks. One story tells of how the household was preparing to leave for the hayfields when the master of the house said aloud, "The devil always does harm, but for once it could do something useful, clear those stones from the yard." When they returned in the evening, the stones had indeed disappeared, but unfortunately, the devil had carried them into the well, filling it. The family had no choice but to clear the well to restore their water supply. In many well-known poltergeist cases, the entity is said to focus its disturbances on a young person living in the household. At Kylmänoja Croft, there was a daughter named Mina whom the devil was believed to target in particular. In one tale, the devil rolled ahead of her as a ball of yarn on her way to school, to the point where she had to be withdrawn from her studies. Another story describes the devil taking the form of a dog, running alongside Mina to prevent her from attending confirmation classes. As mentioned, the devil was said to have caused havoc in the croft for about a year in the 1850s. In one story, it instructed the household, take the small pouch from under the steps and burn it. When the pouch was burned, the poltergeist disappeared. Another story suggests that the wronged beggar came to free the family from the devil's curse. The tales of the Loppi devil continue to live on in local folklore and historical whispers. Though the figure of the devil has changed over the centuries, its legacy remains embedded in the stories and landscapes of the region. In 2024, this folklore was further preserved with the opening of Kaakkomäki's Devil Nature Trail, which winds through landscapes associated with the legend. Perhaps even today, someone may stop at the foot of Kaakkomäki and feel an inexplicable shiver run down their spine.